Citizenship status will of course allow these people who have been living in a purgatory to get jobs in the formal economy and access welfare benefits thus far denied to them. Viewers, they will become confident, most importantly, participatory members of our society. Their children will get access to government schools and health care. And most importantly, viewers, they will get dignity. What really helps their cause is that the new rules notified on Monday have been further relaxed. Now, instead of passports and other statutory documents like residential permits, quote, any document, unquote, will be treated as acceptable proof to establish their country of origin. Any document, viewers. Certificate from local body member enough to prove date of entry and most importantly to ensure that local authorities don't act arbitrarily under political pressure. Viewers, as you can see on your screens in just a few seconds, these relaxed rules mean that there will be much less pressure on these refugees to prove that they were the victims of Islamist extremism, bigotry and discrimination. Viewers, to ensure that local authorities don't act arbitrarily under political pressure, a central panel, not a district collector, will handle applications. Many a times, viewers, many a times, locals don't want these individuals to integrate into society. Viewers, especially if these individuals happen to be in minority-dominated areas in India. And there are plenty of those on the Bangladesh border, viewers. So Hindus who have been fleeing persecution from there will be really treated with contempt. And that has been the case. Viewers, what all this means really is that every Indian should be accepting the CAA. But the notification of CAA rules has led to an unfortunate pushback from a number of opposition rule states. There, the ruling parties are vowing to not implement the CAA in their state as they claim it is violative of the right to equality as it denies Muslim refugees equality before the law in India. Who are these chief ministers? Pinarayi Vijayan, Kerala Chief Minister, says CA treats Muslim minorities as second-class citizens. Viewers, he makes no distinction between Indian and foreign. He almost assumes as if the CAA will rob Indian Muslims of their citizenship. Viewers, this is a misreading of the law. Mr. Vijayan goes on to say Kerala stands united against communal and divisive law, and therefore we will not implement it in our state. In neighboring Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, again the chief minister of that state, says BJP's divisive agenda has been weaponized. Beacon of humanity, now a tool of discrimination. Viewers, the law, the constitution, Mr. M.K. Stalin is referring to. The BJP has betrayed Muslims and Sri Lankan Tamils. Tamil Nadu government has taken a stand against the CAA. Mamata Banerjee, viewers, so West Bengal, the chief minister there is no place for CAA in West Bengal. BJP's political instigation before elections, she calls it, viewers, an instigation before elections. The law was passed by Parliament in 2019. There were no elections then, at least not to any constituencies in West Bengal. Arvind Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, member of the AAP, founder in fact of the AAP, he says, and I quote, whole nation opposes the implementation of the CAA. The whole nation, he says, viewers. BJP is creating a vote bank out of foreigners. Viewers, we all forget, and perhaps some need to be reminded, that for years altogether, opposition parties in certain borderline states of our country have been turning illegals into vote banks by giving them citizenry or documents that establish their citizenry. But the opposition political parties who have been swayed by a number of activists and Muslim organizations to block the CA in their states may not have the legal right to do so, viewers. In fact, the CAA, and here are some more hard facts. And remember, viewers, I always bring you these hard facts so that you get closer to the truth. What these state governments are not telling you, viewers, these opposition-ruled state governments, is that the Citizenship Act has been implemented under the Union list of the 7th schedule of the Constitution. Now, viewers, that means that the states cannot legislate. They can do nothing. Unless and until, of course, they declare themselves independent of the Union. That's the only way, viewers, they can block the CA. Only Parliament can make and amend Union list laws. Article 246 gives sole jurisdiction to Parliament. States can't refuse to implement citizenship laws. States can't override laws passed as per the Union list. States' refusal to implement citizenship laws is legally untenable, viewers. This is what the facts say. The BJP has slammed the opposition of fear-mongering over the CA. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the opposition is in denial over Islamist hate and doesn't want to acknowledge the existence of persecuted Hindus for the fear of upsetting Muslim groups who claim that they in turn are victims of Islamophobia here in our country. So what Mr. Shah is saying is that these state governments don't want to bring an equation between refugee Hindus, Sikhs, Christians and Muslims living here who claim that they are being discriminated against. Shah claims that opposition relies on minority votes in prioritizing their interests even at the cost of denying refugees from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh a legal shield against Islamist bigotry. Are they right, viewers? Are they right? Let's go straight across to Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, Member of Parliament, Legal Eagle. Mr. Jethmalani, thank you very much for speaking to me. Now, the opposition, let's get the main points out of the way. Good evening, sir. The first and foremost opposition point that has been raised is that this reasonable classification created under the CAA is ultra vires of the Constitution as it's arbitrary and is against the right to equality, i.e., it basically discriminates against Muslims. How do you respond to this?
Well, first of all, this, as you pointed out at the outset, this is an act which promotes inclusion of refugees. It doesn't promote exclusion of anybody, right? Now, it is true that the act is mainly concerned with refugees from Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan, and they include the refuge is given to Sikhs, Parsis, Hindus, Jains, 6 denominations in some, right? It excludes Muslims. Now, the idea of the whole act and the experience on the ground, remember this is refugees who came into India prior to 2014, right? So it is time specific as well. But the whole intent is that the vast majority of refugees have suffered religious persecution. The act seeks to protect refugees who have come to India as a result of religious persecution. And the countries by and large responsible, right, for this religious persecution and the influx of refugees are Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Now that to some extent is inherent in the nature of those governments that rule the states, those countries. For instance, they are all Islamic republics. So there is now, to take the most friendly of all the 3 countries so far as we are concerned, Afghanistan was until very recently the Taliban came, while we do have a modicum of good relations with the Taliban government. The fact of the matter is its government is an Islamic government, right? And there are refugees still coming to India from Taliban persecution. But you take Bangladesh, for instance, with which we have the greatest of relations. I mean, Sheikh Hasina has been an eternal friend of India. As recently as February 2023, 14 temples were vandalized in that country. 14 temples. In orchestrated attempts, one after the other. There was a continuous orchestration. Then you look at the statistics. In Bangladesh, in 1951, the percentage of the Hindu Sikh population in Bangladesh was 22%. In 22, it's come down to 8%. Most of them are refugees. They've been driven out. So obviously, when you have repression as a result, or oppression as a result of the inherent nature of an Islamic republic, a bigoted population turning upon the minorities, the country, undivided India, right? Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, right, is going to look after citizens of the origin of this country, the predominant religion of this country, the Hindus, because they are going to be the main victims of persecution, right? You don't expect Islamic countries to persecute religious persecution of Muslims. That's a non sequitur. So the purpose of the act is religious persecution by a theocracy of minorities in that country by its people, or by its state, or by the state.
Okay. Given
that, the complaint is totally misconceived. This argument that is discriminatory against Muslims is misconceived. They are the ones who create the refugee problem. They are the perpetrators of the refugee issue. So it stands to reason that there will be an exclusion of Muslims from this category of refugees that will be protected. And experience has shown that on the ground, the bulk of the refugees are indeed Hindus and Sikhs or Jains.
So you're basically saying that this has been brought in to provide a shield, a lifeline to Hindus, Sikhs and people of non-Muslim origins or denominations who live in Islamic theocracies conjoined to our borders or adjuncted to our borders, so that they can be given shelter here. Okay, what do you say to the likes of the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. M.K. Stalin? He says that the reason he claims this is pointedly against Muslims is because there are Hindus who are being persecuted also in Sri Lanka, and of course there are Hindus that are persecuted, Hindu Rohingyas, a minority within a minority, that are persecuted in Myanmar.
Well, the idea of this act is twofold, as I said. One is, what is the existing situation in India prior to 2014? The bulk of those people, almost more than 95% of those refugees, right, are from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. That's the factual situation. Secondly, as I said earlier, it is a question of religious persecution. Now, what is happening in Bangladesh, right, is what is happening on the Rohingya issue is an ethnic issue, right? There is no purging in Myanmar,
right,
of a non-Rohingya Muslim population. The Burmese, as they formerly were, had never accepted the nationality of the Rohingyas in the Rakhine part of Burma.
Right.
They've always felt that they were an import of the British for forced labor into the state of Burma, the then state of Burma. So it's an ethnic issue. It's not a religious issue. It's not persecution on religious grounds. Right? So also, if the Ahmadiyyas, that's another sect.
Yes.
It's a sect. Now these are intra-sect disputes, right? It's not religious persecution. It's some, post-Quranic sort of interpretation of who is the successor and who is the true Muslim, etc. Who
Yes.
really follows the lineage of the Prophet,
right,
and who is a true Muslim, right? So why should India get into these purely, esoteric distinctions of intra-religious warfare, such as exist in the Islamic states?
Finally,
Those are not, you persecute people and throw them on any ground. And today's perpetrators might tomorrow be tomorrow's victims.
yes.
Depending on which sect within that religion prevails.
So the objectives
So
you are saying.
we are concerned with genuine refugee. Sorry.
So basically, you're saying that the law is in consonance with its objective, and that objective is to prevent or to give a shield to some refugees against religious persecution, not ethnic, not any other form of persecution, only religious. Okay, fair enough. Last question to you, Mr. Jethmalani. There are people who say, especially, and some from the BJP in Assam itself, they say that, look, under the Assam Accords, the cut-off date to process citizenship applications was 1971. But the CA moves the needle forward to December 31st, 2014, enlarging, obviously, the number of applicants, which creates certain complications on the ground in Assam, where, of course, both Hindus and Muslims of Bengali origin are resented to some extent by the Assamese. So, I just want to ask you, does this mean, does the CA now in some way or the other work to the detriment of the Assam Accords? Because that matter is also in the courts right now.
No, not at all. The matter is in the courts, you're right. But on the ground, there's no turbulence on this issue in Assam. The Chief Minister of Assam has welcomed this. So I see this as being a non-issue. I mean, they're just trying to muddle the issues really involved over here. The issue, the 1971 issue which concerns Assam is very much in court and will be decided according to law.
Okay. Mr. Jethmalani, thank you very much for setting the record straight. Remember, viewers, this is a legal opinion that has come from Mr. Jethmalani, who is a very respected lawyer and constitutionalist. So he does know what he's talking about. The matter, as you know, is sub judice. Large number of applications have been filed against the CA, not today, a few years ago in fact. The last hearing took place a couple of years ago. One was scheduled for now, but hasn't taken place. We're still awaiting word on that. But viewers, this matter is, of course, being looked upon by the Supreme Court, examined. But let's open this up, because if the constitutionalists believe that the law is on firm ground, then what's really the problem? Is a veto, are political compulsions really behind all of this? And that's the specific point we need to ask today. And I want to first begin with Professor Mondal once again. Professor Mondal, look, I have some numbers on my screen, and it does show that in Bengal, for instance, this is a major factor. The CAA will, of course, influence minorities. 34% is the influence across very many constituencies, the swing factor in 4 seats, possibly even more. Some people say even 8 seats. So you have therefore decided to allow the Muslim community there to have a veto over a central law, which will be serving as a lifeline to Hindus. The BJP says more pointedly that, look, you are trying to deny that there is Islamist radicalism directed towards Hindus and other minorities in these 3 countries that border India, because you want to continuously argue about Islamophobia. How do you respond to this, Professor?
Your question in a way suggests that the law is communal. That's why you have brought in this minority issue in Bengal. I will answer your question, but before that, I think the statistics that Mr. Jethmalani was referring to, if you look at the 100-year census since 1901 or 1911, the maximum number of influx from Bangladesh took place during these 2 turbulent periods, between 1941 and 1951, obviously because of the first partition, and again between 1961 and 1974. Because in 1971 there was no census, because of the war between Bangladesh and East Pakistan. And you know that in Bangladesh war, India participated, and that's history. During that point of time, only 5 to 6% of Hindus jumped or crossed border to India. And most of them, since 1951, most of them, in fact, all of them are now Indian citizens. Now, case in point is Assam after 1971, where people who even came before 1971, 12 lakhs of them are Hindus, are in detention camp. They are known as D-voters. Now, what you were going to do by bringing this law for them, because mind you, this law was principally recommended by Mr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma. He made Amit Shah recommended that this law must be implemented before NRC is put into place, because these 12 lakh Bengalis are Hindu Bengalis, they are suffering in the detention camp. Now what they will have to do if they want to apply within this law, they have to first declare themselves as Bangladeshi. Because in Assam, largely this refugees or the people who are suffering in the detention camp are from Bangladesh. So they have to declare that they are Bangladeshi. They have to surrender their Indian Aadhaar card, voter card, whatever, and then they can apply for this law. And even then, there will be serious scrutiny before they are granted citizenship. I think this is a jumla of worst kind before the election.
Okay.
I would say this is, I think, the narrative of fascinating deceit.
Very quickly,
Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah,
Professor Mondal, very quickly,
this country before the election.
Very quickly, Professor Mondal, very quickly. The Chief Minister says she's not going to allow the CAA to be implemented. How can she do that? Is that not a jumla? Sorry, are you not fooling the voters?
I tell you, in Bengal, I've given you the statistics, we do not need such law, but the people, whoever is residing in Bengal, all of them are Bengali citizens, especially our Motua brothers and sisters.
Oh, right.
70 lakhs of them.
That's why they are voting for the BJP and celebrating the CAA.
Most of them came from, they are not voting for BJP.
Well, they are celebrating the CAA, sir, and it's there. No, but they are also voting for the BJP.
One part of them are celebrating, right?
One part.
Only one, this is BJP's part, yes.
Oh, the BJP part.
Influenced by the BJP.
Okay.
Mamta Bala Thakur.
Because I don't know who's dividing on the basis now.
TMC's MP, right?
Okay.
And Beena Pani Devi was TMC's favorite mother.
Right.
Everyone knows in this
Let me also tell our viewers.
We don't want any CA in Bengal because that is redundant.
Okay. Fair enough, viewers. The state governments cannot decide that they will not implement this law without being in contempt, viewers. So let me put that out there. I've already mentioned this. This is a fact. Can't be challenged. This law, as you know, viewers, has been implemented under the union list of the 7th schedule of the Constitution, and we've given you the details already. So that cannot be done. That's perhaps the biggest jumla here, but that I'll come to in just a few moments. Sanju Verma, you were raising your arm. You want to respond to Professor Monojit Mondal. Why are you insisting on a law that Mr. Mondal and the TMC says is so discriminatory?
Okay. Rahul, I will start by giving out some very pertinent data because, the BJP has been very clear right from the start that the CAA has nothing to do with Indian Muslims. The CAA only seeks to give legitimate citizenship status to persecuted minorities from Bangladesh, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, you must be aware because you do number crunching yourself. There were 7 lakh Sikhs in Afghanistan way back in 1970s. Then come 1992, after the Afghan civil war, the number of Sikh population reduced dramatically from 7 lakh odd to about 2,20,000. You will be surprised to know that even at the start of 2021, just on the eve of the Taliban capturing Afghanistan, there were only 400 Sikhs, and that number by the end of 2021 had fallen to 150. 150 Sikhs only from 7 lakh Sikhs in 1970s. Now, for the longest time, Pakistan does not have a population census that has been conducted there, but nobody is surprised. In the 1990s, Pakistan had 20,000 Sikhs. Primarily, they stayed in the Khyber Pukhtunkhwa area of the Peshawar region or in the Nankana Sahib region of Punjab province. From 20,000, it is said that today, not even 1,000 Sikhs are there in Pakistan. Now, let's come to Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, in 1974, there were 83,000 Protestant Christians. Today that number is less than 8,000 Protestant Christians, Baha'is, people who follow Judaism, put together are less than 0.8% of Bangladeshi population. The reason I gave out data on Sikhs, Christians, and of course Hindus who've come down from a percentage of 27% in Karachi to barely 2.5%. What does this show? It shows that in Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Pakistan, be it Christians, be it the Sikh community or Hindus, they have been persecuted because when numbers come down 20-fold, 10-fold, it is not an organic fall in numbers, but it is because of persecution. People have fled those countries and have sought refuge in various places, including India. So first and foremost, has there been persecution? There has been persecution for the longest time. Are Muslims a minority in Bangladesh? No. Are Muslims a minority in Pakistan? No. Are Muslims a minority in Afghanistan? No. So for you to say why the law does not talk about Muslims in these three countries, because Muslims in these three countries are a majority. That is the second point. Third point, why is it that the law is only limited to persecuted minorities from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan? Why not from Nepal? Why not from Mauritius? Why not from Maldives? Why not from Moldova? All I'm going to tell the Congress and the other side is, you come to power, you can give protection, rehabilitation and preservation to minorities even staying in Timbuktu and Botswana. Currently, the Modi government is in power. It has decided that we will focus on Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan. आइए सत्ता में Timbuktu के लिए कानून बनाइए. My fourth point, please bear with me for 20 seconds. My fourth and most important point: the BJP has not done anything new. On the 8th of April 1950, Pandit Nehru and Liaquat Ali signed a pact for the rehabilitation, protection and preservation of minorities in both countries, India and Pakistan. Unfortunately, on the 8th of, in October 1951, Rahul, what is this?
Please, Professor
I'm just
Monaji
finishing
Mondol,
my
please.
argument.
She never interrupted you. Let him finish. Let her finish. You can come back and respond. No problem. Let's be civil. Yes. Yeah.
In 1951, unfortunately, Liaquat Ali died. But Gulzari Lal Nanda, who was the Labour and Employment Minister of Nehru and the Home Minister under Nehru, said later after Nehru's demise that if there is one thing Nehru should have done and he did not do, it was implementing the Nehru-Liaquat Pact.
Fair enough.
I ask you, Rahul, just give me 10 seconds.
I need to move on. 8 minutes.
Just 10 seconds. I ask you one question. You are blaming the Modi government for notifying the rules after 4 years. Who was in power from 1950 to 2014?
Fair enough. Let me bring it. I get it. Mr. Chaudhary.
The Congress did nothing.
Mr.
And
Chaudhary.
you are blaming us for being 4 years late.
Okay, Mr. Chaudhary. Well, okay, the timing will always be called into question. There are many from within the BJP's own ecosystem that have a problem with the timing, but that's a different issue. We are not discussing that. We're just discussing really on substance and merit the problem, or the existence of a problem in opposition ranks with the CA. Now, Mr. Chaudhary, very quickly coming to you. You see, Professor Mondol said that this law has been inspired by Himanta Biswa Sarma. I'm going to cite to you Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's letter written in 1949 asking then Chief Minister of Assam, Mr. Gopinath Bordoloi, to quote, absorb refugees from East Pakistan and implored him to differentiate between Hindu refugees and Muslim migrants. Was Nehru also communal, sir? Chaudhary Saab.
Yeah, you have raised a very important point. You know, those who know the Assam's history and division of Sylhet district, erstwhile Bangladesh, and the Lord Redcliffe line that was drawn between Bangladesh and India, you all must know that the first Chief Minister of Assam, or rather the last Prime Minister of Assam, as he was known, Lokpriya Gopinath Bordoloi, he was very much against getting a part of Bengali-dominated Sylhet district into the Indian Union. It was Jawaharlal Nehru along with Abdul Muttalib Mazumdar who toured the entire area of now present Kachar district, Karimganj district, and requested the people for the plebiscite to join the Indian Union. That was the history, and Hindus and Muslims together voted 100% to remain within the Indian Union. That was the history. You can just fact check me. Your viewers can fact check. But that's the cruel part of the history that we have got in Assam. Now come the 1983 riots in which 3,000 Muslims were massacred in Delhi because of the Assam disturbances that was there. The Assam Gana Sangram Parishad, the Assam Students Union raised a upheaval on foreigners issue. It was called Bengali Khadao Andolan in Assam. And we eventually, Rajiv Gandhi led to a Assam Accord of 1985, wherein it was decided that 21st of March 1971 will be the cutoff date.
Yes.
Now, what does the CA do?
No, 1 second, sir. That matter, I need to interfere because that matter is before the courts. I don't want to prejudge that. No, please, sir. On that issue, I can't.
It's Mahesh,
that is not. No, he also didn't. He also said it was before the courts, and the courts will resolve that. No, Mr. Chaudhary, please. Please be reasonable, Mr. Chaudhary.
Rahul, you allowed BJP spokesperson.
No, but I can't. This is a matter that's, sir, that is a matter that is before the courts. It's being heard right now. I cannot allow you to influence.
I'm in contempt of the court.
Sir, please. My channel will be dragged into this. Please, 1 second. 1 second. No over speaking, please. No, 1 second. Mr. Chaudhary, let me just rewind back to the question I asked you. Please, sir. Please go along with me. I beg you. Don't get me and the channel, you know how courts are sensitive, etc., etc. We'll all end up in a soup, sir.
I thought you debate on hard facts. When I'm
No,
stating
I know, but no, sir, this matter is,
very
sir, the Assam Accord is under the cutoff, etc., is being challenged. Sir,
okay, I will not discuss the Assam Accord. Fine with you?
Sir, I'm talking.
2014?
Yes, please. Yes.
Now, what does the CA say? All those people who have been here till December 31st, 2014 are termed as illegal migrants into India who deserve a citizenship under this act. Now come to the entire conclusion out here. How many number of refugees has the government quantified as of now in India? The United Nations Council of Refugees, Human Refugees says that 46,000 refugees are registered in India. But we had an NRC in Assam wherein we had 20 lakh people who were denied their citizenship because they could not provide proper citizenship documents out here.
Sir, now the criteria have now also been relaxed. The criteria for proof has been relaxed, you know this. I only asked you a simple question. It was a question on spirit. And the spirit was that the Prime Minister of the day, Prime Minister Nehru, he wrote to Mr. Bordoloi, the Chief Minister of the day in 1949 and said, please allow, differentiate between, please absorb refugees from East Pakistan on the argument that they would have to be differentiated between Hindus and Muslims. That's exactly what the CA does now. It actually draws in spirit from Nehruji's acceptance that there is, unfortunately, Islamist hate directed towards Hindus, Sikhs, Parsis, Christians, Jains. Now, Rahul, was he, I'm only asking you, sir, was he anti-Muslim? Just very quickly, yes or no, please.
Now, honestly speaking, I told you what happened during those times.
Now, there is no straight answer. Okay, let me bring in Dr. Raman. No, 1 second. Dr. Raman, these governments, one by one, are now saying, whether it is Kerala, whether it is Tamil Nadu, where you are, or West Bengal or Delhi, that they will not implement the CAA. Can A, this be done? And B, most importantly, sir, most importantly, do not people who have suffered genuinely and denied their dignity for all these years deserve recompense, citizenship, a lifeline?
Rahul, first of all, 2 points. One, the CAA have people in neighboring countries been persecuted? Of course, they have been persecuted. Second, is it possible for state governments to unilaterally say that we will not implement a central law? It is not possible, at least not without falling foul of the law. So that is not going to be possible. What they can do is they can non-cooperate to the maximum extent. The committees that are formed to recommend the names at the district level, then from the district level to the state headquarters. So their representative, and there also, I don't know how railway superintendents and post office staff will now, according to the circular which has been issued yesterday, how they will be able to be part of these committees and be able to I think the basic idea is, I think 5 members from the center and only 1 from the representative from the state government and so on. The basic idea is to take the state governments out of the equation. Now, that again is not right, but state governments cannot block it. Now, coming to the issue of persecution. One of the largest persecuted groups in Pakistan is also the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. In fact, in Pakistan, the problem is they are not considered as Muslims by large segments of the Pakistani establishment. Now, they have been persecuted. I saw Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani just, say that is a sectarian matter between 2 sects of the same religion and so on. It may be the case. The fact remains that they are persecuted. Whether it is a sectarian matter or whether it is between 2 groups within the same religion is a different issue. The fact remains that statistics say 197 mosques of the Ahmadiyya community were broken down in just the last 3 years. And, many of them have been injured, many of them have been killed. So, if we are looking at persecution, they are also a persecuted group.
Okay.
Sri Lanka, right, our southern neighbor, has got...
Okay. Let him finish, please. What is the problem?
There are Tamils who are persecuted. And many of them are 1 minute. Madam, I did not even open my mouth for 30 minutes.
I did not mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You can continue with your monologue.
Yeah. It's not a monologue. Anyway, never mind. Now, Rahul, you take Sri Lanka. The majority of the Tamils who have been persecuted, many of them are Hindus also.
Yes.
So I don't understand this rationale of saying that we will bring a law, it will apply only to Muslim neighbors around us, and we will take in only non-Muslims. I mean, that is as discriminatory as it gets. You can put whatever cover you want to it. But the fact remains that it is discriminatory fundamentally.
Respond to that before I wind up. Yes.
Thank you. Rahul, yes, Mr. Sumansi Raman is right when he says that Baluchis, Hazaras, Ahmadiyyas, to a large extent, they have been disenfranchised, they have been persecuted, but they are not a minority. Please understand, within the Muslim group, there may be sections, who may be persecuted, but as a class, Muslims are the majority in Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and this law, Mr. Raman, deals with persecuted minorities. And my last point, if an Ahmadiyya or a Baluchi or a Hazara wants Indian citizenship, he can still do that by applying via the naturalization route, via the Citizenship Act of 1955. The only thing he has to do is, he has to stay in India for 12 years. And prior to applying, he has to stay in India for 11 months consecutively without any gap. So if an Ahmadiyya feels he's persecuted, let him apply for Indian citizenship
and
under the naturalization route.
And they do, and they get it also. So there is no question of denying anyone. This is a fast tracking of those religious minorities. Viewers, please understand, the words are religious minorities. Religious minorities. That is the classification. That really is the reasonable classification. Now that is being tested also, viewers, in court. The hearings actively have not begun. Petitions have been filed. Once they do, we won't even be able to have these informed discussions for the fear of basically, viewers, in some way or the other prejudicing the court's mind. So we're lucky that we can talk about it because the evidence and all of that part of the hearings haven't, only written submissions have been put forth. Hearings will hopefully happen very soon. They were supposed to actually happen, viewers, 2 years ago. I don't know why the Supreme Court has gone silent on this. This is really bizarre. This matter needs to be quickly. In fact, if I were you, viewers, give it some thought. India should actually legislate, hard code into the constitution, a right to return for Hindus. After all, viewers, where else in the world can Hindus seek refuge? Perhaps Nepal. That's all. Hard code the right to return. Israel has it, even though constitutionally, specifically constitutionally, Israel is not or does not have an official state religion. It might be a Jewish state, but it doesn't have an official state religion. And they have a right to return for Jews. Think about that, viewers. I'll take a very short break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
country, how is it that they will have these documents? So one has to understand that this is a situation where we are talking of people who have been in India for the last 10 years, at least, because 2014, like I said, is the cutoff date. When they came to India, most of them came on long-term visa. For example, I spoke to some people who are in Rajasthan, who fled from Pakistan, but they came to India on the pilgrimage visa. Similar instances are found in Majnu Ka Tila area of Delhi as well. So these are people who took a 7-day visa or a 15-day visa saying that we want to do Kumbh Mela or we want to visit places of pilgrimage. So when they came and they got that visa, they had their passport and they had their visa stamped as well. There is no renewal for passport that these people required, because within 1 month of coming to India, as per existing norms, they had to go to the local FRRO, the Foreigners Registration Office, and say that I don't want to go back to my country because I fear persecution. Now, under the new rules, even that FRRO slip whereby you have communicated and FRRO has acknowledged your communication, even that is being accepted by Government of India. And because based on that FRRO slip, you were given a long-term visa. So the process of documentation is already there. Some people, because they've been in India for so long, have gotten their children admitted into schools. In the school admission form, their country of origin is mentioned as Pakistan, Bangladesh or Afghanistan. They've got their Aadhaar cards based on their long-term visa. Those Aadhaar cards have been linked to bank account, bank documents. All of these are acceptable documents now. So for this group which came to India before 2014, life will be much simpler, it will be much easier. But they hope and they feel that there are many in these colonies, refugee camps of Jaisalmer, refugee camps of Majnu Ka Tila. The exodus from these countries continue. From these 3 countries, people have come in 2016, 20, 22, and people I spoke to, those who are benefiting from the new CAA rules, say that we will definitely pray that this day comes in the lives of our other brethren as well. But of course, Indian government will have to take a call. For now, people who came before 2014 December can avail of Indian citizenship under the new Citizenship Amendment Act rules. Citizenship Amendment Act rules have finally been framed and notified. This means that people from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh who came to India before December 2014 and who want to now be called Indian citizens, they now know how to go about the process. There is a portal that is being notified by the Ministry of Home Affairs, which means the entire job application process will happen online. On this application form, they will have to swear allegiance to Indian Constitution, to India and its people. There are other formats also available. So with the application, they will have to specify where they came from, the country of origin, the religion that they follow. As far as documentation is required, the Schedule IA that has been mentioned, Schedule 1A, which has been mentioned as part of the Gazette notification, says that 2 sets of documents are required. One, to prove your nationality, and second, to prove that you came to India before the cutoff date of December 2014. So what can these documents be? As far as the documentation to prove your nationality is concerned, passport from your original country, some kind of a birth certificate from your original country, or any government document from your country of origin, which is Bangladesh, Afghanistan or Pakistan, is acceptable. Now one might ask that if these are persecuted minorities, if they have fled from their country, how is it that they will have these documents? So one has to understand that this is a situation where we are talking of people who have been in India for the last 10 years, at least, because 2014, like I said, is the cutoff date. When they came to India, most of them came on long-term visa. For example, I spoke to some people who are in Rajasthan, who fled from Pakistan, but they
Viewers, can the BJP do it? Can it make history in the South? Over the last 72 hours, complexion of BJP's campaign in the South has changed dramatically. In Andhra, the TDP and Pavan Kalyan Jan Sena have tied up with the BJP, making the contest against Jagan's YSR-CP a close one. In Tamil Nadu, the BJP has picked up some steam, with at least 2 satraps drifting into its ranks. In Karnataka, it is moving quickly to finalize its seats along with regional JDS. And in Telangana, Amit Shah is so confident that today he predicted that the BJP will pick up not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4 like they did last time, but 10 viewers, 10 seats, virtually scripting history. Is it possible? Let's open this up. Remember viewers, there are about 129 Lok Sabha seats to be won, up for grabs in the South. In the 6 states of the South, The BJP has just 29 out of those 129. 25 came from Karnataka, 4 from Telangana. If you look at the NDA, then they have one more, 30 out of 129, Puducherry also going into their account. Dr. Raman, is it possible? Could BJP be on the verge of scripting history?
Rahul, the South is not looking very promising for the BJP barring Karnataka. And I think that there is a recognition within the BJP that this is the case, which is why you're seeing the Prime Minister repeatedly visiting Tamil Nadu, visiting Telangana, visiting Kerala, and trying his best to try and see that, something could be salvaged here. While the BJP, remains a formidable force in the North, it has not made the kind of inroads that it possibly was expecting to in Tamil Nadu. And also the fact that in Telangana and Karnataka, there are Congress governments. Now, that makes things even more complicated because there is now pressure on Revanth Reddy, DK Shivakumar and Siddaramaiah to deliver a decent number of seats to the Congress from the Congress High Command. And of course, Mr. Kharge, belonging to Karnataka, is also under pressure to deliver something from the state for the Congress party. So, all in all, the South does not look very healthy. That is why a party that says that they are going to get 370 and their alliance is going to win 400 seats is, running fairly desperately, trying to find allies in every state. Why would you need Pawan Kalyan, TDP, JDS in Karnataka?
Okay.
Why would you need BJD in Odisha? You're going to win 400 seats. I mean, you don't need all these. These are all allies who are being tied up now. You made the claim of 370 and 400 much before the alliance was formed up with the TDP or with the BJD or anybody else. So I think that there is an understanding that things are not going to plan. And there is a last-ditch effort to try and rectify things in these states.
Surbhi Hodigere, respond to Dr. Raman. Why are you in the hunt for allies when you're winning?
Actually, when Dr. Raman was talking, I couldn't help but think how a very simplistic argument has been twisted in a completely different direction. Suman sir, I have great respect for you, but please think of it this way. When you're losing an election, you don't push all your effort there or go and make sure that you spend excess amount of time. You run away, you give up. Like the Congress has given up on the northern belt entirely. Take Rahul Gandhi away from Amethi, put him in a constituency in Wayanad. That is what somebody who is losing does. Somebody who knows that every election is fought till the last vote.
Who is the candidate, Congress candidate from Amethi?
May I please speak, sir? May I? The BJP and the way that the Bharatiya Janata Party functions, whether it is all over India, whether it is in the northern belt or in southern states, in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, where yes, there are very different situations for the Bharatiya Janata Party, is that we give our 150% even where only 100% is required. That is why the Prime Minister is making sure that through these 5 states, through all of these states, he makes as many possible appearances in those 4 days that he is here. Not just that, to back up the Prime Minister, each of the party cadre here, Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, you are seeing Annamalai on your screen, Annamalai ji on your screen. Every other day, there is a yatra that went through Tamil Nadu. You may feel that BJP does not have a chance in Tamil Nadu. Let me tell you, Suman sir, you are from TN, I'm assuming. Let me tell you that every single seat will see an increase in vote share. And again, that might be a moral victory to you, but to us, it is a betterment from the previous election. That is how the BJP thinks of elections. That is how we go into any election. Tomorrow, let's say in 4-5 years, you will come back to the same debate and say, we don't know how the BJP grew in the South. This is how, sir. Through persistence, consistency, and the message that our Prime Minister takes to across the country that we are one and we are looking forward to a very big, better future.
Mr. Iyer, let's just look at some numbers. In Andhra, it's becoming very tight. The alliance means that 47% vote share arithmetically accrues to the NDA. The YSRCP at 149.88%. At least on the ground, it appears that there will not be a complication with chemistry. So maybe these numbers will make this contest really tight. In Telangana, assembly election, we're comparing two. There's been a jump of 7 to 8% in the BJP vote share. Who's to say this won't go up when Mr. Modi is on the ticket. Remember, it's Mr. Modi on the ticket, not some local leader. So, do you believe that the Modi factor is going to pull a little bit more weight in the south than we anticipate?
No, definitely. You see, it was not that the situation was very good and then situation has become bad, as Dr. Sumanti Raman says. The situation was always challenging in the south, but that situation is gradually undergoing change. It's not static. Otherwise, you tell me, why should TDP keen to come back to NDA?
Yeah.
Because it was, after all, Chandrababu Naidu who said it is biggest mistake of his life is to have left NDA. So therefore, there is some Modi factor working in Andhra Pradesh too. Otherwise, why would TDP want to come back and be willing to give 5 Lok Sabha seats? So definitely, there is a benefit accruing to both sides, without which an alliance would not take place. Now, for the Congress, you see, in Andhra Pradesh, their idea is to split the Jagan's votes. If Jagan votes get split because of entry of Sharmila, his own sister as Congress face,
yes,
that means the opposition is going to benefit from the split in the Jagan votes.
It's true.
And in TDP, in Telangana particularly, Rahul, you can see against OVC, they have put up quite a formidable candidate. It was Madhavi Lata. He was the face of the campaign against triple talaq. You know, it has been a consistent view of some people to think, nothing will happen, BJP will remain. It's not so. Even in Tamil Nadu, the kind of traction that Annamalai has managed also shows that things are not hunky-dory for DMK. They still may win more seats, but definitely the ground is slipping on account of corruption charges. Now this new drug deal that is coming out, the drug nexus, involving DMK leaders and drug peddlers who masqueraded as DMK leaders. In Kerala too, BJP has been working on the Christian votes. So you cannot simply always, repeat the same thing, nothing will happen, nothing will happen.
Well, let me say, I'm just going to take a short break, but I'll come out to all three and we are going to ask each one of them to predict a number. Let's have it out. Let them put their money where their mouth is. I'm coming right back, viewers, to this panel.
Powered by.
On the pilgrimage visa, similar instances are found in Majnu Ka Tila area of Delhi as well. So these are people who took a 7-day visa or a 15-day visa saying that we want to do Kumbh Mela or we want to visit places of pilgrimage. So when they came and they got that visa, they had their passport and they had their visa stamped as well. There is no renewal for passport that these people required, because within 1 month of coming to India, as per existing norms, they had to go to the local FRRO, the Foreigners Registration Office, and say that I don't want to go back to my country because I fear persecution. Now, under the new rules, even that FRRO slip whereby you have communicated and FRRO has acknowledged your communication, even that is being accepted by Government of India. And because based on that FRRO slip, you were given a long-term visa, so the process of documentation is already there. Some people, because they've been in India for so long, have gotten their children admitted into schools. In the school admission form, their country of origin is mentioned as Pakistan, Bangladesh or Afghanistan. They've got their Aadhaar cards based on their long-term visa. Those Aadhaar cards have been linked to bank account, bank documents. All of these are acceptable documents now. So for this group which came to India before 2014, life will be much simpler, it will be much easier. But they hope and they feel that there are many in these colonies, refugee camps of Jaisalmer, refugee camps of Majnu Ka Tila. The exodus from these countries continue. From these 3 countries, people have come in 2016, 20, 22, and people I spoke to, those who are benefiting from the new CAA rules, say that we will definitely pray that this day comes in the lives of our other brethren as well. But of course, Indian government will have to take a call. For now, people who came before 2014 December can avail of Indian citizenship under the new Citizenship Amendment Act rules. Citizenship Amendment Act rules have finally been framed and notified. This means that people from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh who came to India before December 2014 and who want to now be called Indian citizens, they now know how to go about the process. There is a portal that is being notified by the Ministry of Home Affairs, which means the entire job application process will happen online. On this application form, they will have to swear allegiance to Indian Constitution, to India and its people. There are other formats also available. So with the application, they will have to specify where they came from, the country of origin, the religion that they follow. As far as documentation is required, the Schedule IA that has been mentioned, Schedule 1A, which has been mentioned as part of the Gazette notification, says that two sets of documents are required. One, to prove your nationality, and second, to prove that you came to India before the cutoff date of December 2014. So what can these documents be? As far as the documentation to prove your nationality is concerned, passport from your original country, some kind of a birth certificate from your original country, or any government document from your country of origin, which is Bangladesh, Afghanistan or Pakistan, is acceptable. Now, one might ask that if these are persecuted minorities, if they have fled from their country, how is it that they will have these documents? So, one has to understand that this is a situation where we are talking of people who have been in India for the last 10 years, at least, because 2014, like I said, is the cutoff date. When they came to India, most of them came on long-term visa. For example, I spoke to some people who are in Rajasthan, who fled from Pakistan, but they came to India on the pilgrimage visa. Similar instances are found in Majnu Ka Tila area of Delhi as well. So these are people who took a 7-day visa or a 15-day visa saying that we want to do Kumbh Mela or we want to visit places of pilgrimage. So when they came and they got that visa, they had their passport and they had their visa stamped as well. There is no renewal for passport that these people required, because within 1 month of coming to India, as per existing norms, they had to go to the local FR.
Viewers, the BJP is batting on the front foot. Amit Shah today taking the lead, setting the tone for the BJP's campaign in the south, saying that they're going to script history. He says 10 lotuses will bloom in Telangana alone, suggesting that the BJP is eyeing a historic tally. Now, we were talking before the break and Sumansi Raman, Dr. Raman says that no chance, dream on. Surbhi Hodigere believes that people are underestimating the Bharatiya Janata Party. And senior journalist Shekhar Iyer, always very dependable in his analysis, extremely impartial, says that there is a Modi factor at work and let's not discount that. So I'm going to ask them to put the money where their mouth is. The BJP had 29 out of 129. Yes, 129 total seats across 6 states in the south. 29 of those. Let me ask them what they think this time. Mr. Shekhar Iyer, do you think the BJP will do better than 29? If so, by how many seats, sir?
No, they could increase the seats by at least, I can see their numbers going up by at least 4 seats. Okay. I mean, they could cross the 30 mark and they could get, and in Karnataka, they now have an alliance with Janata Dal Secular.
Okay.
In Kerala, they hope to win 1 or 2.
Okay, so 33, 34.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Surbhi Hodigere.
Before I give you a number, Rahul, I'd just like to mention this. I didn't answer your previous question, which is that why are we going around the south making alliances, making sure that
I won't have too much time. I just have 2 minutes, so quickly.
Sure. I just want to say that this is how you should be building a national front and a national alliance, not by losing alliance.
How many seats now? How many seats?
Entire South 129, we will work 100% in all 129, okay. Rahul. That is what
waffling. You're waffling. You're not giving me a number. Okay, I excuse you, but Dr. Raman, number.
Yeah, my gut feel, Rahul, is it would be more or less in the same range, okay. 25 to 20, 27, okay. 28, thereabouts.
So they might go down,
but not. But yeah, I think okay. they'll be lucky if they end up the same place.
Okay, they'll be lucky if they end up the same place. Viewers, riveting. I have a feeling, and if you're going to start watching our opinion poll coverage from tomorrow, you might be in for a surprise. I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers, but who knows? Let's tune in tomorrow, viewers, from 6 onwards for that opinion poll. 21 states, 518 constituencies. It's the biggest opinion poll. The Right Stand with Anand Narasimhan.
Namaste, Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on this edition of The Right Stand. I am Anand Narasimhan. Are we as Bharat the most vibrant democracy across the world, where people enjoy unabated freedom to a level perhaps not witnessed in any other nation across the world? Or are we